Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for episode 5 of Ahsoka, the Shadow Warrior. We are joined by Mr. Lankofski. Say hi, Mr. Lank.
Hi there. If my audio is a bit poo, then I am currently on my laptop, so blame HP for making shit fucking microphones.
Yeah, he joins us again on the travels, but this time not in
Yes.
audio form, in ham radio form, I guess it is.
I am in the void. That's where I am. I'm in the void.
He's in the world between worlds. He's
That's
in
it.
transition. Yeah, we're gonna
Well,
well, we're gonna run through episode 5 of Ahsoka, the Shadow Warrior. Do check out the other videos if you're new around here. The last episode was actually one of the highest rated Star Wars shows ever. So this one had a lot to live up to, and we will get into that.
yeah, me and Lou have barely talked about this, but the one thing that we have talked about, we highly disagree on this episode.
We do.
So we'll talk about that probably during or afterwards.
Only a Sith deals an absolute. So do you want me to kick off, or are you going to kick off the run through of the
I'll kick off. Yeah, I'll kick off. So it's part 5, and the name of the episode is The Shadow Warrior. It opens, as pretty much most of them have done, over the henge where they were working out the calculations for the galaxy jump. And then as it slowly pans across the henge, it reveals the shattered Apple of Eden laying on the floor at the bottom of the pedestal where they had it. And then it quickly cuts to Hera and the Phoenix Squadron arriving on the planet. And Hera comes out of the ghost, is it? The ship name? Yeah, she comes out of the ghost with Jason! And yeah, she's looking around the henge for any signs of anyone at all, and she hears a noise coming from over the edge of the cliff. So I thought it was going to be Ahsoka, obviously, straight away.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, I just found it a bit weird, and then a bit of a surprise.
Pyongyang.
Huyang was stood at the edge of a cliff holding Sabine's Mandalorian helmet. I did not expect that, and it was a bit moving. And then that is like the opening sequence, and then it cuts to the Ahsoka title screen.
I like the little. They never should have split up. He's like, even in his sorrow and his hour of need, he's still like, I was right. I told them. They didn't listen.
Sounds like me, to be quite honest. No one ever listens to me, and I'm always right.
Did you notice that Pyongyang or Huyang or however you want to say it is now in the opening title sequence where they flash between the droids and the helmet?
No, I don't watch it. I skip that shit.
Oh, I love that bit. Best part.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So yeah, we have that. You get the title sequence, and then we flash back to the world between worlds where we left off the last episode, and we see Anakin, and we see Ahsoka, and they have a nice little like back and forth of jib. Anakin says she looks quite old. She does look old, but that's beside the point.
Coming from the 40-year-old apprentice.
Yeah. We'll get into that. We will very much get into that. Yeah, she's like, "Why are you here?" and all that stuff. They reminisce. They have a little catch up, and then he says he has one last lesson to teach her, and she's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "To live or to die." And then he ignites his lightsaber, and
it's a blue lightsaber.
Just
in case anyone's wondering.
He looks so much better in this sequence though than he did in the last one.
I have got that written down. CGI is so much better, but then like we'll get maybe touch on this a bit later on. The CGI in this fight sequence, it looks exactly like Anakin from Revenge of Sith.
Does it?
Whereas
generally,
yeah. Whereas later on in the show, when it shows him, it is. I don't know where. Well, it's the same Anakin, but it's obviously not CGI'd anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not de-aged, and it just looks. Go on.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if it's the mist and the camera angles and stuff that they play with that gives it, but like there's sequences in here where it looks nigh on like impossible to tell the difference between Revenge of the Sith and this. Like it looks perfect.
Yeah.
It looks like you've gone back 20 years.
The thing is with the ones that look good are more probably the harder shots to light, because when there's a part of a scene where with the sabers and they're having a fight, and the Anakin's blue lightsaber's right up against his face, and it's casting that blue hue on his face, and that looks spot on. It looks bang on Revenge of the Sith Anakin, and then later on he's just stood there talking in a normal like we are now, and there's no de-aging on that, which I don't understand.
For me, it's the one scene where he gets knocked back and you see the hair flick, and he pops the little smile, the little grin, and that's like straight out of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that entire sequence where the fighting looks great.
But anyway, yeah, he says he has one more lesson: live or to die. Super Vader / Anakin, like it's just him or a D. And then we get the first reference of several, once again, because Dave Filoni can't help himself, where she says, I will not fight you. You want to run through the reference, Mr. Lank?
I don't know what reference that is.
Oh, so basically Ahsoka says, I will not fight you, and that is obviously a flashback to Luke Skywalker, when he goes, I will not fight you, father. When
oh, okay.
Where Anakin fights Luke on the second Death Star, the one that Rey finds.
Why did you have to spoil it? I'm gonna fucking end the call.
But yeah, because then he follows up with, heard that one before. Just he breaks the fourth wall, and it's a callback, and Disney Star Wars. There is finally peace and balance, and it's all good. You could have ended the episode there, and I would have been happy.
Yeah, but then we leave the World Between Worlds, and Hera and Jason are on the what's it called? The Henge once again. This Henge is a big place because everyone just chilled. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's in every shot. Anyway, Jason stood on the edge of a Henge, and Hera and Carson, is it the pilot?
Carson Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, Hera and Carson are talking. And then Jason's like, Mum, I can like pretty much sense something, or I can hear something.
Hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it. And then Hera's like, no, you can't. Stop being a dickhead. And carries on talking to Carson, pretty much fobbing off her own child, which is, great parenting. I love it.
He's stood on the side of the cliff.
Yeah, I know, but then like you got to think like that his dad was part of the Order, or not part of the Order. Technically yes, but technically no. But
he was a Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He had powers. So when Jason says, no, come and have a listen, you daft fuck. And then she walks over to Edge of Cliff, listens deeply, and then gives him a wry smile because for some reason she's now force sensitive and can hear the lightsabers.
Well, this show's taught us that there's a little bit of the force in everybody.
Look at how yellow my hands are compared to my face. What is this?
I don't know. But yeah, you can hear. Well, first of all, you just hear the crashing of the waves, but then you hear you hear the. I did like how
they intertwined them, sort of thing. I liked that bit. That might have just been me nerding out, but yeah.
And then after that little sequence, it flashes back to Ahsoka and Anakin, and they're fighting in the World Between Worlds. And then we get the best part of the show. We get the Obi-Wan spin. He does the little twirl. And it's just like, Hayden Christensen is back, and then he does the hand thing where they lock hands with the Force.
Yeah, with the Force. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like,
yeah, and he does the little smile and the little grin, and it's just like, we've missed Hayden so much. To me, this fight has been the most fluid and like just well choreographed, and just in terms of a fight, it just looked amazing. And
that's what I've got. I've got in my notes the fight choreography for this sequence was sublime.
It's some of the best from Disney.
It was. Well, it's probably the best from Disney. It's pure Revenge of a Sith, Obi-Wan versus
It
Anakin
was
or
fast and
Vader.
fluid. It was fast and
Yeah,
fluid. That's
it
what the
was
sequels
so good.
miss.
It was great, and again in my notes I've got so glad to see Hayden's back and actually got good fucking dialogue this time. But
My only issue is this is the part where he looks like Revenge of the Sith, but his voice, my god, it's not the same. I don't know what's happened.
no,
You can tell he's aged.
if you go back and watch the episode, if you didn't notice it and you go back and watch the episode, it might be one of those glass shattering moments where you were like, shit, I never realised that, and now I realise it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, sort of thing.
I want to hear it. Talking about glass shattering, they come to like a stalemate in the training, and then Anakin says that he has one more trick to teach her, and he shatters the catwalk.
Yep.
And she falls into the mist.
She falls into the mist, and as she gets up, you discover that she's a very young Ahsoka, and it is a flashback now from the Clone Wars, which I know may sound a bit weird if you have watched it. I thought it was very well handled. They could have gone full-on super-duper CGI, but they didn't. They sort of cloaked it all in the mist and the dust and stuff like that. And I sort of liked how they did that rather than just going full on CGI and thinking, yes, computerization fixes everything.
Very much so. I don't know if this is true, but I can imagine it would be. I can imagine it'd be the 501st Legion. If you don't know, they are an organization of people who are radical Star Wars fans and they like to build their own costumes, but they do a lot of charity work. So good on them. And they've been in a lot of Star Wars projects before, including, I believe, Rogue One, sorry. But yeah, they've been in projects, and I can imagine could have been in it. I just love the fact that it's just canonically it's so consistent, which is what the sequels very much lack. It's a young Ahsoka when we very first see her in Clone Wars, a young actress. It's the one from Infinity War, I think, but it's Phase 1 clone armor. You see the Phase 1 clone armor, and you don't really know what mission she says. It's one of the first missions. I'm not quite sure what mission it was, but you see the Republic gunship flying. You see the ATT in the background, just like moving along. It's just Phase 1 clone armor. It's just so nostalgic.
Yeah, it is. It's a great sequence, and I don't think it's actually this sequence. I think it's a bit later on where you hear one of the clones' voices, and it is what's his name?
Mara Morrison.
Yeah, it's
we'll get to that.
Yeah. But basically, it goes through the mist. Ahsoka gets up off the floor. She's a young Ahsoka. It's a flashback. Anakin walks past, and can't remember really what he says. It's pretty much like, "Come on, we've got to fight. Or there's some more fighting to be done." Blah blah blah. And then she questions why they're fighting. He walks off, and as he walks off into the mist, now this literally sent shivers down my spine when it happened. He walks off in the mist with his lightsaber ignited, so he's got the blue lightsaber. And then for like a split second, like a flash of lightning, he switches to Darth Vader with a red lightsaber, and then straight back to Anakin and the blue lightsaber. And I saw that, and I rewound it like 3 times because I was like, "Oh god, that was such a good fucking move."
Yeah, it's the slight thing,
so good,
like the red and the blue. You see him as well, because you see him in the Revenge of the Sith tunic. It's not even the Revenge of the Sith tunic, sorry. It's the Clone Wars armor he wears in the Clone Wars. It's full on. It's such a thing. And then obviously, you also have the scene where you have all the wounded clone troopers, and there's another reference in there because it wouldn't be a Dave Filoni show without a reference. But essentially, it's Ahsoka's blaming herself for all the dead and injured clone troopers, and it's a callback to the Ryloth campaign, where essentially Ahsoka is in charge of Blue Squadron, and she flies them into a death trap, and they get ambushed by a bunch of frigates from the Separatists, and she blames herself, and it's all her fault and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just something about that sequence. Like, do you know what it reminded me of very much when you saw Anakin? You see Anakin walk in with the Clone Wars armor, and then you see him like flash into Vader. It reminded me very much of Rogue One, the hallway scene in Rogue One at the end. Like just seeing him like igniting in the myth.
A little bit,
It's the same
a
presence.
little bit. Yeah. And then is it after that scene? You get another flashback to a slightly older Ahsoka during the siege of Mandalore, which is very very cool and strange to see. She ended up fighting and unaliving a few Mandalorians, which was interesting. But yeah, I thought that was a cool little snippet to throw in there.
Yeah, it was cool seeing the Mandalorian super commandos. If you don't know, basically when Darth Maul takes over Mandalore as King of Mandalore, they're the Mandalorians who become loyalists to him.
Yeah, and that's why they all had the fucking horns on the helmet.
Yeah, and you see the Phase 2 clone armor, and you see it's 501st Legion. It's a throwback to Season 7 of the Clone Wars when they basically storm Mandalore to try and recapture it, and it's just and then it's just so good. Like you just see, and then you get the Tamara Morrison cameo as well, where he's command. It's not Captain Rex, it's Commander Rex. And you see him, and it's just My only issue with that is she looks too young. Ahsoka. Like, she's supposed to be 17, and she looks like a little kid.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I thought especially the first one.
The first one she's supposed to be 14.
Yeah, but even there, she looks like a I don't know,
9 or 10-year-old.
Yeah, she looks. The aging for me is off slightly. I'd say slightly, not massively, but it's just something that I did pick up on.
But and then Anakin says, and she's like, "I don't want to fight. What happens if I don't?" But then Anakin goes, "Then you will die." And it's like a flashback to like Malachor when Vader fights Ahsoka, and she's like, "Oh, him." It's just, it's all good. It's all good. And then we have a momentary break from it because can't have too much of a good thing. And it flashes back to the Ghost and Hera, and they're searching for. Well, they don't really know what they're searching for. They just know
they ain't got a clue what they're searching for. They're just driving around. That's it, aimlessly.
Yeah. So they're flying over. They've wasted all their fuel pretty much. They haven't found anything. Yep. So they take the logical step of saying, "Get closer to the board."
Yeah, it's Jason pretty much says you need. Oh no, Jason says that Chopper thinks he's found. Is it Chopper? Sorry?
Yeah, Chopper's found something.
Yeah, I think Chopper's found something, but you need to get really close to the water. So 20 minutes ago, she didn't want to listen to a kid and fobbed him off, and now she's willing to risk her life for her kid. It's weird how things happen in Star Wars. But anywho, that happens. We go back over water, and then it cuts back to the world between worlds, and Anakin then turns into dark side Anakin and starts to fight Ahsoka, and again it is a shivers down the spine moment.
It's the moment when he turns her back, because at this point he's not wearing the Clone Wars armor. He's wearing the Revenge of the Sith tunic.
Yeah,
because he's not supposed to be at the Siege of Mandalore. If you don't know, the Siege of Mandalore takes place when the events of Revenge of the Sith take place. About the point where Anakin has killed Dooku and has but anyway,
he does reference that, doesn't he? As he's walking through the flashback himself, he goes, "I don't remember this battle."
And she's like, "Yeah, you weren't here. You were off murdering some Sith lords."
Yeah, you were off slaying children.
Jedi Council members, but and then it's like the camera is on them, but he has his back to her.
Again, another reference I feel to Revenge of Sith, where it begins a fight with Obi-Wan.
The absolute. Only a Sith feels an absolute, and then he delivers the absolute. You will live, or you will die, because she has not learned her lesson. And then he draws the lightsaber,
and it's fucking crimson, and you're just like
the crimson red. It's just, this is what I mean. How do you not like this episode?
that's another thing. He turns around and he's got the Sith eyes as well,
Yeah.
and that's sort of when Ahsoka goes. She turns around and she's like, Anakin?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
is it Anakin or is it Vader? He ceased to be Vader. He ceased to be Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, it seems to be Anakin. But yeah, they have
Another fight.
a battle. Yeah, they have a battle as we'll just say Vader. Pre-suit.
Prime Vader. Prime Vader.
Yeah. And she basically bests him.
I don't know. He kicks her through the mist. I wouldn't say she bests.
Kicks her through the mist.
It's when they lock thing and then he kicks her because she hasn't learned her lesson. And she falls
back into the world between worlds.
And he walks out, and it's like Operation Nightfall when he storms the Jedi temple and he walks out of the mist with the red eyes and the yellow eyes and the crimson red lightsaber and the flashing Vader and
when they're fighting on that platform, that's when Ahsoka gets the best of him and disarms him, and basically has his lightsaber in her hand right up against his face, and then she
pushes it closer.
Disignites it. She puts it down.
But did you see right before she does that, as she's pushing it closer to his like neck, throat, her eyes like flash yellow.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, oh my god, this is what needed to happen in the sequels.
Temptation.
Just needed a role reverse.
Yeah, she gives in to the dark side just for that split second, and
for a momentary second.
The crimson red lightsaber like ignites the yellowness in her eyes, and it's just
when she disengages the lightsaber. I still don't feel like that's right.
It's not.
And then pretty much throws it away, and then a somewhat reference I felt. I Choose to Live, which I thought was very Luke Skywalker after he chopped his dad's hand off.
Yeah, you lose your highness.
Yeah, you lose your highness. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then Anakin is breathing very heavily. And then he sort of looks down, and then he looks back up, and before he looks down, he's got yellow Sith eyes, and when he looks back up, he's got the blue, just normal Anakin eyes, and he's all fresh and bright-faced, and he just smiles.
Yeah, and then he like disappears into the ether because she like looks around.
Yeah.
And he just. Did you? I was just gonna say when
he does a Batman.
Yeah, pretty much. He's there and he's gone. Did you see when he walked through this? When he walked through the smoke though, the mist? Did you hear the brief Vader?
Yep.
The breathalyzer, not breathalyzer. What's it called? The breathing apparatus. You just hear it.
That's what I loved about the last episode. The last thing you heard, or the last thing you saw, were him smiling at Ahsoka, and then the last thing you heard after the screen turned black was that breathing apparatus, and I was just like.
Yeah. If the sequels had been like this, nobody would have complained.
No one would have fucking blinked an eyelid. If fucking Rey had turned to dark side and Kylo Ren had turned to good side,
or they just brought back Hayden Christensen because that fixes all problems.
Oh, we just never give it to Rian Johnson, and when Snoke doesn't die, and when we have a good actual bad guy, we don't have to bring Palpatine back.
Wrong shot. We're getting off track again. Off track.
Okay. Sorry, I keep reading.
Haunted by his path.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what
the world between worlds begins to like dissolve. I guess it kind of like starts trickling down.
Yeah, sort of like floods trickles down, sort of thing, and then it cuts to Ahsoka floating in the ocean, and Hera and the Phoenix Squad have found her and rescue her, and take her back aboard the Ghost. I mean, you get a brief cuts, hard cut, and it goes to the next day where or one cycle as huyang, one rotation as huyang says. And she wakes up.
That she does, and they're trying to figure out where Sabine is because they thought she'd know, she thought they'd know. Nobody knows what's happened to Sabine, and then they go back to the henge. Lank's favourite word.
Again, it's not even my favourite word. It's just where they always are. Why? Why can't? It's a big, beautiful red forest. Can't we go for a walk in it?
Then they find the apple of Eden, but it looks more like Terry's chocolate orange and like cut in half. And then
bravo.
And then yeah, she uses her force powers to like basically catch everybody up on like what happened to Sabine. And they figure out
she
that.
says, what does she say? She says she thinks Sabine might have left an imprint on it.
Yeah, and Sabine basically they figure out that she's gone with Shinhati, Balenskor, and Morgan.
That's summer. I got it right at the end of my notes here. That's why it's a shit episode. Shit episode. No Shinhati. What is life?
True. That is the only bad side.
I've had 52 minutes of none of her.
If we get Hayden Christensen and Shinhati together, then I don't know what's going to be happening.
Explosions everywhere.
Yeah.
Where did we get to? We went off on a tangent.
And then basically, they get told that the New Republic fleet is finally coming to help. Better late than ever.
Yeah.
But
we're not really coming to help, but coming to
court-martial them pretty much.
Pretty much. I was looking for that word, court-martial Hera and Ahsoka, because they have no evidence that Thrawn's coming. They have no evidence of any bad guys.
Even though they do.
And even though they do, and so the New Republic fleet are coming to court-martial Hera and Ahsoka.
This annoyed me so much. It's like you've got no evidence. It's like they built a massive hyperdrive ring thing jump through space, and there is two like Sith in quotation marks. If that's not a big threat, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, but it's also like the Jedi see that the future is clouded, but don't know why, and proceed without caution.
The Sith have not returned. We would know about it.
Exactly, and look, the Sith Lord is right in front of us, so we shall only send 4 Jedi instead of all the Jedi.
To be fair, they do beat him.
Well,
they do beat him, and then Anakin...
I hope we get a Mace Windu spin-off. I'd fucking come in my pants.
Anyway.
Where do we go to? Where do we? Ahsoka reads the apple. The New Republic say they're going to turn up and court-martial Ahsoka and Hera, and then Hera turns around and says, "I'll sort this." Goes back to the ship, and Ahsoka is left out in the henge, pondering how to find a way to get to Sabine and the bad guys. And she looks up as coincidentally the clouds part, and we get another look at the sea whales, or not to trigger anyone, the purgles.
Look out for the horizon is yours.
Yes, she don't. She looks up and the clouds part.
Yeah, you see the magical space whales are flying around, just chilling. Yeah, because we forgot about them for like the. Where were they when they went into hyperspace in the last episode? Like just conveniently on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, they might have been having the tea. Yeah, there were a match on that day.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, Ahsoka looks up, sees the purgles, runs back into the ship as Hera gets advance warning of the court-martialing, and she says, "I know how to follow or
find
track
Sabine.
down
I know how to get to Sabine."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, which is again, it's Disney Star Wars. It's all coincidental how it falls together.
And then we get, in my opinion, the worst part of the episode. Basically, the New Republic fleet arrive and Hera and Ahsoka are like stall them, and then Captain Teva just stalls them.
Yeah, pretty much. He says, "You shall not pass."
Yeah, like Gandalf.
It goes full Gandalf. I mean, it's a bit weird how he does it.
You got permission? We are higher ranked than you. Do you have permission?
Yeah. It's a bit strange. He calls their bluff, and they fall for it for some reason. I don't know. But yes, so that's happening up in space as the New Republic fleet arrives, and during this time, what's his name? Pilot Carson.
Carson Taylor.
Yeah, Carson. Yeah, I had a brain fart for a minute. He's stalling them. Carson tells them what's going on, but they says that they won't like it. And basically, what is going on down on the planet is Ahsoka has flown up to the Purgles and found the big one because that means he's the leader. And I'm assuming taught to it through the Force or somewhat depicted what she wants to know or somewhat along those lines, depicted what she needs help with, and then the Purgle just opens its mouth, and Huyang and Ahsoka fly into the Purgle's mouth because that's a
And then they get eaten, and then the credits roll, and they're dead, and it's the end. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, but what a reference! There's always a bigger fish. Yeah, that happens. They fly into the Purgle's mouth. Hera says, "No, she speaks to Hera, and she's like,
see you in a bit."
Yeah, pretty much. See you in a bit. I'm gutted you can't come along. I mean, she's like, Hera's like, no, I've got to deal with this calm asshole shit.
She also blames the kid though. She's like,
sorry.
She's like Jason. It's Jason's fault. He's too young to travel.
Yeah. She mother of year 2023. She blames the kid. It's his fault. She don't know he's force sensitive, even though he's clearly force sensitive. Even though she were listening to the waves for the lightsaber. Fuck knows. And then basically, what we got here? Yes, Purgles fire light speed out their arse and credits roll.
Yeah, they jump off into space. Credits roll. That's the end. Good story.
The space comes out their bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. This Lubicon's gone robotic once again.
Right at the end. Right at the end. We nearly got through it.
Is it raining?
Probably. Yeah. Sorry, I was just jumping through light space. Light space? Yeah.
You're doing the galaxy jump.
Exactly.
So yes, that's the end of the episode. I thought so. I don't know whether they did this in any other country. In the UK, they showed it. I'm gonna have to hide my arms of bright yellow. Oh, like a Simpson. Come on. Yeah, basically in the UK, they showed episode 5 in in cinemas, in select cinemas. If I'd have gone to the cinema to see this episode, I would have been infuriated because episode 4 should have been shown in cinemas. This should have been shown on fucking Fox or something, because if you take the Hayden Christensen out of the equation, this episode is trash. Absolute trash and absolute filler. If you take the Hayden Christensen parts out of this episode, it's just filler material. 52 minutes long this episode was, and about.
Well, it wasn't. The last 5 minutes of credit. So it's like, and then the first 5 minutes is like flashback, so it's like 40 minutes realistic.
Yeah. Very good point. Yeah, but you get what, 15 minutes at most with Hayden Christensen?
20. I'd say 20.
Yes, they are skin-tinglingly good minutes, but if you take them out of the equation, this episode's Kieran Dyer. And if you get that, you know what I mean.
Lee Boyer.
Lee Boyer was fucking god.
I'd say the highs were high and the lows were low. I did not. I don't know if it was because the Hayden Christensen parts were so good, but I do get what you mean. Like the parts with like with Hera and Pyongyang and Ahsoka were like outside of that were very much a bit meh, to be honest.
Yeah, it literally was. If you, like I said, I keep referring to it. If you take Hayden Christensen and Anakin and Ahsoka and Vader parts out of it, it is definitely an episode 5 filler, 100%.
But with them in there, it is the best episode in the series, in my opinion.
Not even close. Not even close.
For me,
not even close. It comes nowhere near to episode 4.
For me,
nowhere near.
For me, that part, that seeing Hayden Christensen back is good enough anyway. But to see him back, we saw him in Obi-Wan and he was good. We didn't get what we wanted. We didn't get what we wanted.
I don't know. I thought Obi-Wan, the fight scene in Obi-Wan.
It was good. But for me, seeing Anakin back, not just Vader, seeing full-on Anakin, that was just something that I could have only dreamed of. To see Hayden Christensen back, Revenge of the Sith, we saw him like Attack of the Clones style, Clone Wars style, live action, with Ahsoka, the chemistry, it's just the flash, the cinematography of him flashing between Vader and Anakin, and it's just, yeah, for me it was by far the best, if not the best episode, the second best episode behind episode 4. I'd say definitely these 2 episodes have been the strongest so far, and I think the Vader sequences have been the highlight of the show so far, minus Shin-Hati.
Yeah, I can't agree with it. Episode 4 was fucking goat tier.
You're just saying that because Shin-Hati was there.
That as well, but you had the fight sequences.
But you had fight sequences here that were just as good.
Yeah, I know.
You had the
big reveal. You had the big reveal at the ending that left it on a cliffhanger, which is a fucking stupendous thing to do. Episode 4 was by far the best. This, again, you take Hayden Christensen out of it, it's just filler material.
But he's there. You keep saying you take him out, but he was there. You don't take him out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He is the highlight.
He's a highlight, yeah, but I'm still like, why can't we just have a full episode of this? Why can't the Purgles come in the last 5 minutes and we don't need the court-martialing, we don't need the, oh look, she's been found and woken up. Can't we just, like, Hayden Christensen for 45 minutes and then Purgles for 5 minutes and blast off, here we go.
Yeah, my reflection was the fight was a bit short. Like I wish we'd seen more of the fight.
Absolutely.
We'd seen more of the fight.
Yeah, we could have had a full Revenge of a Sith style fight where it kept on cutting away and cutting back and cutting away, and the fight went on for what, 20-30 minutes or something like that. I'd absolutely deal with that sort of stuff. I did enjoy the flashbacks to young Ahsoka and the Clone Wars, that I liked, but again, it wasn't enough to make it a.
And we got Tamara Morrison. We finally got Rex, Captain and Commander Rex in live action.
It was a very
nostalgia.
It was a very okay episode.
No, it was the highlight.
If I'm rating it, it's a 5 out of 10.
For me, it's a 9. It's not a 10. It's not a 10, but it's a 9. I think the last episode was an 8.5.
The last episode was definitely a 9.
I just wish we could have seen more of Anakin with the red lightsaber. Like, that was way too short. Like, and more sequences of him flashing between Vader and Anakin as well would have been cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd have loved to have seen the like a flashback to the whole her cutting his mask open.
Yeah. I'm surprised they never threw an Order 66 one in there for good measure, to be honest. But...
Yeah. I feel a bit gutted about that. Unless maybe it comes towards... Saying that it won't come towards the end of the show, will it? Maybe, I don't know.
You don't know.
I really want... Yeah, I highly doubt it, but it's Disney.
I hope this is not the end of Hayden Christensen in this show and in Star Wars.
I've got a feeling it. Yeah, I've got a feeling it is.
I hope it's not, though, because this was just like... This was giving you a flavour of it, and now I want more.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, my one reflection was we didn't get thrawn. We still haven't had thrawn yet, and I was surprised at that.
This is what I mean. I am so that we're episode 5. Episode 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got what, 6, 7, 8. So we got 3 more. I am really hoping they do what they did with the last episode, and thrawn turns up for all of 10 seconds, and I would lose my shit, because that is the correct way to do. You set up season 2, because he's obviously going to be a season 2, because they're not going to find thrawn and then defeat thrawn in fucking 2 seconds.
Unless Rian Johnson. Unless Rian Johnson's directing it.
Yeah, pretty much. Either that or that happens, and then is it Ezra who disappeared with him?
Yeah, Ezra Bridger.
So either that happens and Thrawn gets defeated in 12 seconds, and then Ezra turns up as the last second cliffhanger sort of thing, somewhat along those lines. I'd prefer to see
that's not
Ezra. I'd prefer to see Ezra turn up in season 2 and Thrawn finish as a cliffhanger. I think that's the correct way to do it.
You can't build up Thrawn's return and then beat him in 10 seconds. That just doesn't work.
No, that's what I mean. That's why I think it needs to be a season 2 thing, because there has to be a season 2.
My only worry is that they're bringing back in episode 7, beat him in episode 8. That would ruin it for me.
That's what I mean. Surely people have looked at this and thought there's definitely going to be 2 seasons. This is how we need to do it.
In my mind, it'll be episode 6 is they're going to be basically in the unknown region of space. They might find Ezra, or they might find Ezra at the end of episode 7, and then it's like they go off and try to find Thrawn, and then we find Thrawn at the very end. Yeah.
There's plenty of ways for it to play out. I know how I like to have it, but
I was just gonna say my final thoughts are: I hope we see more Shin Hati, and it wasn't just like a flash in the pan, and she's just gonna sit like backseat for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I hope Thrawn comes back episode 8 as like the grand reveal at the end, because it would fit his character down there. You know, like just not even if we don't see him, even if we just hear him, it's like, I do want to see him, but just to hear him.
Yeah, one of the big things for me as well is how this. I'm assuming the won't have known this were going to happen, but how they treat Baylan Skoll's character towards the end.
Yeah, that's a sad one.
Yeah, that's one of the big things for me. Anyway.
Another thing is, we need a season 2. Like, this has been one of the better Star Wars shows. If not, it could. They do it right. Touch wood. It could be better than The Mandalorian. It could be the best show. That's a big if.
So far, right now, I still don't think it's better than Obi-Wan.
I think Obi-Wan was shit. I disagree with that.
I think Obi-Wan was shit, but it had the whole thing of.
It had one good sequence, and even that was.
No, it had multiple good sequences because it kept on having little flashbacks, like where he had PTSD and he was seeing Darth Vader in the desert, and you'd have little flicks of him, and that kept you on tenterhooks. Yes, Princess Leia was a pain in the ass, and she should have been field gold away into fucking space, and the whole Qui-Gon coming back was done in such a shockingly bad way. But yeah, oh god, I forgot about
that. And you said it was the best. You said it was the best. That wasn't me.
I forgot about that.
But the bottom line is we need more Hayden Christensen, because at this point, him and Ewan McGregor are Star Wars.
Yeah, at this point, we need Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, and Shin Hati.
Put Mark Hamill. Just, then we've got everybody's favourite characters who are not dead.
Sam Witwer.
Yeah, that's another one. We need a Sam Witwer character, a cameo at some point, and then like Dave Filoni, you can have the keys to Star Wars. You can just ride off into the sunset with your cowboy hat.
End of season 2 Ahsoka, Sam Witwer turns up as Star Killer, and everyone just loses the shit.
Yeah.
Star Killer defeats fucking Thrawn.
I did see something online where Hayden Christensen turns around as Anakin and goes, "There was another. Always 2 there are," and it just pans to a second apprentice, and it's Star Killer, and it'd just be, I don't know, theory crafting of just
Yeah, we're going off on a massive tangent now. On that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, that is our roundup and review of episode 5 of Ahsoka. Again, I do apologise for my surroundings. It is live. I'm not always at home, weirdly enough, in front of my computer. I'm at my girlfriend's, sat in front of a laptop now. Weird how things change. But yes, if you did please consider liking and subscribing. My link is in Lew's description. Lew's link is in my description. And any closing thoughts, Lew?
Live or die.
That was shocking.
Bye bye.
Bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, please.